Silence doesn't protect you, it isolates you. And that isolation is exactly what fuels grandparent alienation, but you don't have to stay cut off. Let's talk about what the research shows and how you can start reconnecting to support right now. Hi, my name is Annie, and this is Grand AlieNation. We provide resources to alienated grandparents so they can start putting their lives back together again. So this video is all about, it's in a series all about how your silence is continuing this alienation trend. So why in this particular one, we're talking about isolation. Why is keeping your mouth shut making you feel so isolated? Your silence, when you sit in silence, it pulls you away from your friends, your faith groups, even your extended family. So these people are there to support you. If you isolate yourself because of shame, grief, etc., you know, you're cutting yourself off from the people who are there, who do want to help you and want to love you. So you stop sharing because you're embarrassed. You're tired of explaining. Oh my gosh, got to tell that story again. In our last video, I gave you a simple little line to tell people, I'm just dealing with some family stuff right now and I'm working through it. So if you keep it like plain like that, then, you know, they won't feel compelled to ask you more. And the alienating child, this is the big one. The alienating child is counting on you to retreat and stay silent and be isolated and sad and all boohoo. They're counting on you doing that because they're out there living their best life, talking all kinds of smack about you because they know you're not going to say nothing to nobody. Okay, so there's that. Now we got research that backs this up. So Standalone UK and Cambridge study said that 68% of estranged adults report the stigma leading to isolation, the stigma of shame, keeping you quiet and keeping you isolating yourself from society and from your friends. A Mayo Clinic said estranged parents fear judgment of their parenting skills. People think, oh, people are going to think I'm a bad parent. And it leads them to self-isolate. Again, nearly 25% of the global population struggles with loneliness, and estrangement just pushes that number way up. What is the cost of isolation? Stress, depression, physical health decline. I've heard stories from grandparents that once they got isolated from their kid, their health just went into a steep decline. High blood pressure, diabetes, heart problems, you know, breathing problems. This depression is serious. And if you don't pull yourself out of it, you're going to make yourself physically ill. And studies have shown this. Ambiguous grief feels heavier when you carry it by yourself. If you don't tell people what's going on, it's like a burden that you have to carry all by yourself. But if you share what's going on with you and what's going on with your kid, it really does help lighten the load. And the less you speak, the less likely others are to recognize that this is an epidemic. This is a social contagion. Let's call it what it is. It's not real. These kids, it's not real. They're icing you out because they have to protect their peace. They have to protect their boundaries because of toxic masculinity, because of generational, what is that called now? Generational trauma. Get a grip. It's not generational trauma. What it is, you know, let's just digress for a moment. What generational trauma is, and it's not trauma, it's just generational traditions that are passed down. Traditions, good or bad, but it's up to each generation to take it upon themselves to stop that kind of behavior, you know, gossiping or taking advantage of people or whatever kind of negative things that is passed down from generation to generation. It's a behavior, and it is up to us, every single generation, to stop it. But guess what, boys and girls who are alienating your parents, you are creating your own flavor of generational trauma that you're passing on to your kids because your little babies are not going to get to have the love and attention of their grandparents. You're denying them that. I am just going to call you out for that. You are denying them the love and the deep connection with their heritage when you isolate your children from healthy, loving grandparents. And then on top of that, you go the extra mile and alienate your siblings and all of your cousins, your aunties and uncles, anybody who's going to side with your parents. You are giving your children your own brand of generational trauma. Congratulations. Golf clap. Anyway, so some practical solutions so that you guys can have some direction. I talk about stuff and I always want to come with a solution. That's really what we are doing here, is we want to give you guys like something to hold on to and say, yes, I can take back control of my life. I don't have to let this grief and this silence and this alienation and this loneliness, I don't have to let it eat me alive. So you can do stuff about it, okay? So the first thing you can do is break out of your exile. Again, call a friend or family member each week. During COVID, what I did was, we were all isolated, right? We all had to stay at home. We couldn't go like 6 feet apart and like, whatever, you got to wear your mask and all this kind of stuff and all that stupid stuff. Thank God it's over. But what I did, because we only had to stay home. Remember, we couldn't go anywhere. Only Walmart and Target was open. So what I used to do, I would open my phone and I would go like this. I'll open up my contacts. You guys can do this too, because it's actually kind of fun. It's actually really, really, really rewarding. You go on your phone, you open your contacts and you go, wee, and then you stop. And that person is the person you're going to call. Maybe it's your insurance agent from like 10 years ago. Maybe it's your auntie. Maybe it's your nephew. Who knows? It might be an old coworker you didn't talk to for a long time. It might be a wrong number, but you can brighten somebody's day. You can just say, hey, hi, I never talked to you for a long time. What you been up to? Blah, blah, blah. I just was thinking about you. I just wanted to share some love and some good vibes, That is fun. I really recommend you try that, because whenever I did it, people were just tickled that I called for no reason at all. And I told them like, yeah, I randomly picked somebody and you win today. So you can do that. So let them know. And sometimes, you call people like, hey man, I just need company tonight. What are you doing? Come over, let's have a glass of wine and let's go make some cookies or play cards or whatever, have people around you, because when you surround yourself with people that love and care for you, it really is uplifting. So let's do that. Let's break out of that exile, okay? And then find some safe spaces online. There are forums and Facebook groups. Please be selective, okay? I'm just going to put a caveat. Please be selective. Know what kind of group it is that you are joining, or a supportive community. I'm going to be starting a school group, SKOOL. Eventually, I'll come back and I'll drop the I'll drop the link in the description. I'm creating a private community for all of the alienated grandparents, so we can kind of exchange ideas, exchange stories, like this worked for me, that worked for me. Hooray, hallelujah, my daughter reached out to me, so everybody can celebrate. So I'm going to create this community, and we're going to have our own videos in there, like private videos that you can see as a part of the community. I'm going to do that because I really want to create a safe space and a community where we can just be ourselves. We can cry, we can laugh, we can celebrate. So I'm going to do that, and I will let you guys know. I'm going to put it in all of my videos. And then when you find a safe space online, let's say you find a Facebook group, you find things in common with other people who are going through the same thing as you, and that's very, very comforting. Okay, so go look for that. For right now, you can look at Facebook groups and stuff, and but I really I'm gonna create my school community so you guys can all come inside and we can have our own private space without these adult kids like, kind of creeping in on our action. Okay, so volunteer or serve locally, community centers, churches, children's programs. It feels really good to be around kids. If you have grandbabies that you're missing, it does have a little twinge of kind of, longing, but it's kids laughing and being around you is, again, it's very uplifting. So if you can maybe volunteer at church for the children's group, the children's ministry, or maybe the daycare during a church service, that it really does feel good. I would go over and visit with my friends who have little babies because it brings me joy. It's kind of like a surrogate, but not really. And then set a connection goal. Aim to talk to one person about your estrangement this month. So start speaking about it and start telling people in your circle. I don't have to go tell the girl in the grocery store, okay? Just like people that you know that can offer some kind of support and words of encouragement. And you know, the act of speaking out, the act of getting the words out, it really does break the cycle of isolation, because that's what we want to avoid. We'll help you guys avoid is just putting yourself in exile. Okay, we don't want that. So remember, you were never meant to carry this alone. This burden is not yours only to bear. So isolation is the soil where alienation grows. And really, really, the antidote is connection and exposure. That is one of the things that is on the hot button of mine, is exposing this thing to the light, is going to shine light on the darkness. So the more we spread the word that this is happening to us and happening to my friend and happening to my cousin and my coworker, the more people that know, then the isolators are going to be the ones that have to hide in shame. Because eventually my goal is to make it so shame to be somebody that is doing this to your mother or your father. It's so shame that the alienation trend will dissipate. That is my goal, really. So even if your adult child rejects you, the world is full of people who will love and accept you and celebrate you. So I want to tell you what is the next episode in my series. So episode number 3, we're going to talk about how the silence doesn't just isolate you, but it hands the microphone to your adult child. So their false story becomes the only story unless you speak up. Okay, so again, my name is Annie. This is Grand Alienation, and we hope you found some things that you can grab onto and help to live a better life. That's all we have for today, and we'll see you on the next one. Please don't forget to subscribe so that you can see more of our videos and be on the path to reconciliation. I'll see you again.